Hi, I'm Representative Alana Rubel, the House Democratic leader here in the Idaho Legislature, filling you in on what happened this week. Boy, was it a crazy week. Oh, we are drained here. It's been madness. First, we had the ban on ballot boxes, first thing Monday, which went through the House, actually not on as big a margin as I thought. It was 37-33, which I'm hoping will mean that it gets held back in the Senate. But that would, again, ban all ballot drop-off boxes for absentee ballots. They did bring up House Bill 692, which was another one of the voter suppression bills that would have effectively made it almost impossible for young people to vote unless 18-year-olds who have utility bills in their own name. I don't know any such 18-year-olds. That bill was actually so bad, it got sent back to committee to be fixed up because it had so many problems with it. We expect to see it again to vote on it Monday morning with some tweaks made to it. Still not a good bill. Then we had the aptly numbered House Bill 666, which criminalized librarians, teachers, professors, and museum workers for disseminating material that is harmful to a minor, which is a very subjective standard. It's determined, under the prevailing standards of the community, whatever that might be. As we know, every parent might differ substantially on what they view as material harmful to their child. So this, unfortunately, went through the House on a near party line vote. I think it would make it extremely difficult for teachers and librarians and museum workers to do business in this state. I got gavelled down for asking whether Judy Bloom would violate the ban. On its face, it looks like it would. But I couldn't get a straight answer out of them. That is now in the Senate in State Affairs, where we are hoping Senator Patty Ann Lodge will keep it in her drawer, but can't hurt to drop her an email asking her to do that. Similarly, House Bill 675, which made felons out of parents who comply with best medical evidence and give their children in appropriate circumstances gender reassignment treatment. So this can include hormone treatment, puberty blockers, and in very rare cases, surgery. We know for a fact that these treatments can meaningfully reduce the suicide incidence of transgender children. We are extremely afraid of what this would do to transgender children and their families should it become law. That sailed through on almost straight party line vote and is now sitting again in Senator Lodge's drawer. And we are afraid she's getting a lot of pressure to pull that one up for a vote. So if you can, please do send her an email at palodge@senate.idaho.gov and ask her to hold House Bill 675 in committee. Other things that happened on the good news side are emergency medical services bill that we told you about, which improves the availability of funding for training volunteers and generally all of the costs associated with emergency medical services, passed through the Senate. It was carried by Senator Nelson. It has now passed the House and the Senate and is on its way to the governor. The other thing we've been keeping you up to date on was that House Bill 741. This was the bill that would end owner-occupied property tax but replace it with an 8% sales tax. Big problems with that bill. I think they started to realize how big the problems were with that bill because at the last minute they canceled the hearing on it. So we're optimistic that bill may be dead for the session. I think it may just be too dangerous even for this body to move forward with. We shall see. Coming up next week, first thing Monday, we're going to have the vote on Senate Bill 1309, which is the Texas-style abortion ban that basically would turn a woman's family members into informants who could bring lawsuits against a doctor. That has passed the Senate and is coming to us on Monday. On the bright side, Representative Sally Toon's bill to do loan forgiveness for teachers who go to rural and underserved areas is going to be up for a vote. We have Melissa Wintrow's vote on 6 months of contraception. We're going to have a floor vote on removing racist covenants from deeds, and also a bill to provide better confidentiality for victims of sexual and domestic abuse. So in amidst all the mess, we do have a few bright lights and some good things happening. So stay tuned. Look forward to seeing you next week.
Good afternoon. I'm Senator Michelle Stennett. I'm the Democratic leader in the Idaho State Senate, and welcome back. We have a lot of election bills in front of us, both in the House and the Senate, some of them competing language, but we did have a couple of them in front of our State Affairs Committee this morning, and both of them did not make it out of committee because, in essence, one was a large voter suppression bill, and the other one was going to criminalize Good Samaritans who were trying to take validly filled out ballots, who properly sealed and signed and signatured, keep them from trying to take them to the elections clerk or deliver them in a proper ballot box. But what we did have pass on the Senate floor is a couple bills that I co-sponsored, and one of them is to make sure that where you actually register to vote and live and where your place of residency is the place that you file from. It seems like some people were not adhering to the rules that wherever it is that they live is the only place that they can file for candidacy. So this is a way for the Secretary of State to be able to work with the Tax Commission to make sure that wherever you live is actually where you can be filing for candidate. The second part is a little different from that, and it is about keeping people from gaming the system on asking for more than one homeowner's exemption. Surprisingly, or maybe not surprisingly, some people were getting more than one homeowner's exemption, which just adds added pressure to our property tax, the property taxes to property owners when somebody is receiving illegally some kind of compensation where they are not legally allowed for. So that firmed up the ability for them to do that. Also, a couple of my bills. I have a veterinarian bill, which is trying to incentivize our large animal production veterinarians into the state. It's highly competitive around the country, and we don't have a training hospital here, so we're trying to incentivize veterinarians to come in and work in our agricultural sector. It did get out of committee. It's going to the floor. And then I have a caregiver's bill, which allows for an essential caregiver to be able to accompany a patient or a resident in order to help them with their medical needs and to speak to healthcare providers in any medical facility, healthcare facility, whether it's hospitals or assisted living places. That has come out of the Senate. It's gone over to the House. And then finally, my bill, which Representative Burns carried on the House, it came off unanimously out of the Senate. It is to celebrate the SNRA's 50th anniversary for being established and a place that we have enjoyed and recreated for years and years. It's the jewel in the central part of Idaho. It was to commemorate its anniversary, 50th anniversary, and unfortunately, it was killed on the House floor 5118, which mystifies me, but they obviously did not feel that that area was as important and as beautiful as I did. And so fortunately, we will just make sure that we support all of the activities that are going to happen this weekend within the SNRA jurisdiction. There'll be a lot of games and celebrations, and hopefully you will all celebrate with them that we are so fortunate to have this lovely part of Idaho. So we'll see you next week, and thank you so much for joining us.